Painful regret a narcissist feels after you leave this world. Hi everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we'll explore narcissists' complex world and their inner distress when their victims escape their manipulation. Before we discuss this topic, I'd want to invite you to join our growing community. Simply click the subscribe button below. Subscribing gives you valuable insight for this hard trip. Let's walk this route together. Narcissists are often thought to be unaffected when their victims escape their control. They typically project an aura of invincibility and self-confidence, giving the impression that their victim's departure doesn't bother them. It's important to remember that while we can generalize about narcissists, each one's reaction is unique. It smacks someone like a ton of bricks when they break loose from a narcissist, especially unexpectedly. It targets their very essence. This event unleashes a strong emotional storm that tears them apart. Please note that this revelation is not meant to cast doubt on you or suggest that narcissists should be given another chance. Instead, we want to show that even narcissists, despite their outward indifference, suffer greatly when someone leaves them. Understanding this complex emotional response does not invalidate your decision to quit. You left because of your sorrow, which took courage and strength. By leaving, you restore your freedom and expose the narcissist's flaws. Let's face the facts. A narcissist has caused you unimaginable emotional pain, leaving you severely wounded and scarred. You have witnessed their acts' devastating effects, their complete disrespect for your trust, and their constant breach of the boundaries that are essential for respect and understanding in any partnership. These terrifying experiences forced you to proclaim, "I cannot endure this any longer." You choose to free yourself from your constant suffering by prioritizing your health, independence, and happiness. You are entering a profound healing and self-discovery period. Reclaim your individuality and tap into your inner strength. Narcissists are often shocked and disbelieving when they realize you have made a permanent decision to leave and end all contact. It's like resetting your life's security code, essential for your safety. When they realize you've left them forever, many narcissists go through a hurricane of emotions. They may initially try to convince themselves it's simply another split. They downplay the incident as a small setback. As they realize the extent of your absence, denial turns into disbelief. They are stunned by your departure, leaving them dizzy and confused. After accepting this new reality, they assign blame. Narcissists accuse you of never loving or caring for them in fury. They become angrier as they wonder how you left them. They often compare you to others who left you to release their emotions. This stage begins their struggle to manage unexpected emotions. They have spent a lot of time hiding their weaknesses, but the departure compels them to face them. The revelation that you have moved on and are on a path to recovery and self-empowerment might cause them great grief and regret. A surprising but unsettling aspect about narcissistic relationships is that a narcissist's seemingly quick switch to new sources of attention and affection does not erase their feelings for you. To break go from a prior relationship isn't as easy as shutting off one's feelings. People often move on from past relationships without resolving their emotions. Even in fresh relationships, we sometimes think about old lovers, causing desire and nostalgia. This may explain why some narcissists rush into new relationships to escape their old emotional baggage. The sad truth is that these deep-seated feelings go unspoken. Their boasting and demonstrations of delight in new relationships typically reveal unresolved concerns and unfinished business. It is amusing and baffling that narcissists leave you and quickly seek new validation or pretend sadness over your leaving, yet their actions are rooted in deep internal turmoil. I want to be clear. I'm not trying to persuade you to reconsider a harmful relationship. My point is not to recommend returning to such a relationship under any circumstances. When narcissists think you've moved on, they're filled with perplexity, remorse, and rage. They bombard you with messages, unexpected visits, and constant calls out of fury. They also look for new distractions. Understand that narcissists do not experience shame. Instead, they justify their behavior using their distorted reality. They may say they moved on because you left yet want to reconcile. They will manipulate your emotions and actions using any method, including compulsive behavior. If these attempts fail, their dissatisfaction and wrath grow. Recognizing these trends is crucial. Narcissists' attempts to reconnect or challenge you while pursuing new relationships show their emotional instability. Their rage and need for validation show a deep inability to analyze and move past their feelings for you. Escape from their control is crucial, yet revealing your intention to leave could be perilous. The hint of your success or happiness without them could start a dangerous chain of events. When you escape, their carefully prepared facade collapses, leaving them confused and disoriented. This disturbance to their narrative often enrages them, and they may try to blame you for their failures. This ordeal required understanding that their heightened and frequently angry reactions could conceal truth. However, reasoning with a narcissist at that point was like sailing a stormy sea. Since they pushed limitations to the brink, you had to be intellectually and emotionally strong for their emotional outbursts. Narcissists may get depressed after you leave. Some use misleading statements like, "My despair could lead to dire consequences." This debate emphasizes the importance of safety and well-being above anything else. While empathy and sympathy are admirable, they must be balanced with the desire to defend yourself, especially when dealing with a narcissist whose world seems to be falling apart. Such people can be unpredictable and dangerous. Their pain may be heartfelt, but it is not a commitment to change or personal growth. These reactions typically show their deep fear of life without you, which is the core of the problem. Thus, if you must tell a narcissist you want to leave, prepare for their emotional breakdown. You're right, their mental instability may worsen. Be vigilant and ready to take action if their behavior becomes intolerable, including calling the police. Your safety and well-being must always come first. Having children with such a person adds difficulty. You must be aware that the narcissist may manipulate your children to cause emotional distress. This terrifying possibility must be addressed. To complete this narrative, we must emphasize the importance of staying educated and connected with supportive resources. Please subscribe to our channel for more intelligent discussions and relevant tips. Our community thrives when you like, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support and look forward to sharing valuable material with you. I totally get where you're coming from. I understand your drive and the reasons behind considering such actions, especially given how they've treated you. But let me make one thing clear. This isn't about seeking vengeance. We'll delve into that in the video. Hey there, everyone. I trust you're all hanging in there. So, you're thinking about shaking things up and pondering the idea of dismantling their influence. I completely feel you on that. I really do. There's a straightforward method that might just do the trick. It might sound simple on paper, but in reality, it's no walk in the park. I get that it involves a series of steps, and not everyone's cut out for it. But hey, you've got what it takes. Now let's chat about dealing with a narcissist. First things first, I'm not advocating for any harmful actions toward another individual. Let's not forget, narcissists are people too, even if some of you might strongly disagree with me on that. But let's switch gears here. I understand why you're keen to tackle this issue, and it's not about tearing them down as individuals. It's about employing savvy strategies to handle them. Ultimately, the aim is to cut them out of our lives. And to do that, you've got to remove yourself from their orbit. You need to vanish from their radar and withdraw your energy, making it seem like you're no longer on their wavelength. This tactic will effectively take down the narcissist, in a manner of speaking. However, if you're determined to keep this person out of your life, action is necessary. I understand that not everyone can easily do this, especially if there are shared responsibilities like children or assets. But you can still minimize your contact with them. Remember, narcissists thrive on emotional connections, even if they don't genuinely feel emotions themselves. They crave emotional validation and are keen on understanding your thoughts, feelings, and motivations. They know you well and can predict your behaviors based on their observations. So, it's crucial to handle this situation strategically, focusing on reducing contact and being mindful of the emotional aspect. The priority is to protect yourself and ultimately sever any ties with the narcissist. The narcissist has been closely watching you, your body language, your expressions. For them, this is their lifeline. They're like predators, relying on these cues. They have a heightened sensitivity to such details because they need to gauge your reactions. They've meticulously studied your triggers and can anticipate your responses. However, by withholding this information, you become unpredictable to the narcissist. They can't predict your next move, your behavior, or your thoughts anymore because they've lost that insight. Your absence and lack of communication leave them bewildered. This perplexity deeply unsettles them, prompting the question, what's happening here? Deprived of their expected validation, narcissists face an inner turmoil. Validation is crucial for them, a fundamental need they relentlessly pursue. If you seek validation from a narcissist, understand that obtaining it requires manipulation. They won't readily offer it. You must coerce them into providing it. Initially compliant, they quickly grow bored, necessitating the narcissist to devise alternative tactics. Gaslighting and deceit may become tools to extract validation, compelling them to act against their true desires. It's important to emphasize that engaging in manipulative behaviors like gaslighting and lying is neither encouraged nor endorsed. Healthy and honest interactions should always be prioritized in any relationship. Using gaslighting, narcissists manipulate you into compliance, forcing actions contrary to your authentic self. Consider how it feels to act against your will, compromising your integrity. Initially, you may suppress your discomfort, repeating this cycle despite recognizing its dissonance. However, a tipping point arrives when you realize this isn't acceptable. Refusing to fulfill their desires, you inadvertently disrupt their core need for validation. Though not immediately apparent, narcissists depend on validation, constantly seeking it to validate their existence. However, if they're denied this validation, it hits them hard. They feel utterly devastated, ignored, and invisible, triggering deep wounds from their childhood. Just as their parents or caregivers might have treated them by disregarding their needs, the narcissist adopts a similar approach with you. When you fail to comply, they resort to either ignoring you or punishing you, echoing the behavior they experienced in their formative years. Sadly, no one intervened to address this harmful pattern, leaving them to believe it was acceptable. Consequently, they perpetuate this cycle, using manipulation to shape you into fulfilling their desires and expectations. When you withhold validation and attention, the narcissist experiences profound distress. Despite the presence of others who could potentially offer validation, they might specifically desire it from you. You could be their primary source of the validation, love, and attention they crave. There might be something unique about what you provide that fulfills their needs in a way others cannot. Hence, their fixation on obtaining validation from you is intense. It serves a specific purpose and boosts their self-esteem. Denying them this validation has a devastating impact, as it undermines their sense of power and confidence. In their perception, the more validation they receive, the greater their sense of self-worth and superiority. Imagine their perspective, a childhood marked by neglect, where insignificance was their constant companion, and their existence barely acknowledged. Something within them shifted during those formative years. Now, they relentlessly seek validation from any available source to compensate for the neglect they endured. One or two sources of validation aren't enough. They hunger for an ever-expanding audience. The more validation they receive, the more significant they feel. It becomes their lifeline, their way of being seen and acknowledged in the world. So, when this validation is suddenly withdrawn, it devastates them. Just one person retracting their validation serves as a stark reminder, triggering feelings of inadequacy and reinforcing their belief that they are unworthy of attention. These reminders dredge up the pain of their childhood experiences, which they desperately try to escape. To shield themselves from this pain, they resort to tactics like hiding, gaslighting, and projecting, all in an attempt to fulfill their fundamental need, to feel significant and recognized. This need drives their every action. My dear friends, I trust that what I shared here strikes a chord within you. It's crucial to understand that we're not advocating for stooping to the narcissist's level and engaging in their toxic behaviors. No, dealing with them requires a strategic and thoughtful approach. You must strip away the very thing they crave the most, validation. This is how you dismantle their power over you. It's a tactic that confounds them and allows you to reclaim your own strength. However, executing this strategy isn't always easy. It requires reaching a point where this person no longer holds sway over your emotions and psyche. You must have faith in your ability to thrive without their presence. This entails redirecting your focus and energy away from them, paving the way for your own growth and healing. Remember, this is your journey, and you have the power to shape it according to your terms. Don't allow yourself to remain ensnared in their web of manipulation. You deserve a future free from their influence, where your own needs and desires take center stage. This is what true liberation looks like. Thank you all for tuning in, my dear friends. I sincerely hope that this discussion has provided you with valuable insights. Until we meet again, take care and farewell. A common emotion experienced by many of us at some point in our lives. It arises when we acknowledge that a past action or inaction has led to an undesirable outcome. Regret holds significant power, often negatively impacting our mental well-being. In this piece, we delve into the question of whether narcissists truly experience regret when losing someone. To grasp this concept, it's crucial to understand the root of remorse and whether individuals can genuinely overcome it. Remorse typically stems from feelings of guilt or regret, arising from the realization that different actions could have been taken in the past. For some, remorse serves as a catalyst for behavioral change and making better decisions in the future. However, for others, it may persist as a source of ongoing anxiety and self-doubt. The ability to navigate and overcome remorse often hinges on an individual's level of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. The question of whether narcissists genuinely mourn the loss of a loved one is complex. Narcissists can be likened to predators, reliant on the energy and resources of those around them for sustenance. They strive to project an image of omnipotence, concealing their true vacuous, sensitive, and insecure nature. In essence, their response to grief and loss differs significantly. Narcissists diverge from the norm in that they lack the capacity to experience genuine sorrow. Their focus remains solely on their own needs and desires, viewing others merely as tools to fulfill their objectives. Consequently, when faced with the loss of someone, they do not experience feelings of remorse or guilt. This is because they fail to perceive individuals as autonomous beings with their own emotions and desires. Instead, a narcissist might offer apologies as a means to regain control over the person they've lost. In their quest to manipulate the situation, they may employ tactics to induce feelings of guilt or responsibility in the individual for the loss. Alternatively, they may endeavor to win back the individual by making false promises of change or by resorting to flattery and manipulation. However, these superficial apologies lack authenticity, as they stem not from genuine feelings of remorse or guilt. The current dilemma revolves around whether narcissists genuinely regret losing someone. While they may experience a form of sorrow, it's unlike what one might traditionally understand or empathize with. It's natural to harbor self-doubt following a setback, be it the demise of a relationship, the loss of a job, or any other disappointment. Yet, here lies my regret, lamenting the actions not taken. However, sadness assumes a distinct meaning in the realm of narcissism. A narcissist perceives only those objects and individuals that hold significance to their self-serving agenda. It's akin to peering through a keyhole and glimpsing solely the objects and individuals deemed valuable. Those who fervently cater to the narcissist's fabricated image are the ones deemed valuable, merely a means to sustain their facade. If you provided the narcissist with ample attention, resources, intimacy, or any other desired commodity, you were merely a sought-after commodity, valued not for genuine affection or friendship, but for utility, for the narcissist could not fulfill their needs elsewhere. In the realm of narcissism, sadness is a foreign concept, experienced quite differently from the depths of genuine human emotion. My regret over their departure isn't rooted in a heartfelt sentiment for their well-being. Rather, it's a lamentation over the loss of access to their utility and benefits. Their absence leaves a void not of affection, but of convenience, a void that must be filled with a replacement who can match their demands and attention. It's akin to the challenge of finding a new partner or employee who can meet their standards and fulfill their needs, a task far less appealing than maintaining the status quo. They may yearn for the comfort of a devoted partner or the convenience of a dependable source of resources, but their remorse is not for the loss of genuine connection or companionship. Instead, it's a pragmatic acknowledgement of the inconvenience of seeking out new sources of supply. In their self-centered worldview, people are interchangeable commodities, valued solely for their utility in serving the narcissist's agenda. The truth is, narcissists are adept at seeking out assistance from any available source, regardless of emotional attachment or genuine connection. Their pursuit of fulfillment is driven solely by self-interest, devoid of empathy or concern for others. In their pursuit of self-gratification, they may feign remorse or offer apologies, but these gestures are merely strategic maneuvers aimed at manipulating emotions and maintaining control over their targets. So, if a narcissist reaches out with apologies or declarations of regret, it's not an indication of genuine remorse or a desire for reconciliation. Rather, it's a calculated attempt to undermine your confidence and manipulate your emotions, a ploy to keep you tethered to their agenda and abandon your own aspirations. In the realm of narcissism, genuine remorse is but a distant echo, a concept foreign to their moral compass. Unlike the rest of us, who navigate the complexities of right and wrong, Narcissists operate in a world of their own making, where truth is twisted and morality is a mere illusion. Remember, their concern begins and ends with themselves. Consider how our sense of right and wrong serves as a guiding light, illuminating our path and informing our choices. It's what helps us learn from our mistakes, empathize with others, and distinguish between genuine remorse and empty apologies. But for a narcissist, this awareness is absent. They are blind to the consequences of their actions, indifferent to the suffering they cause, as long as their image remains untarnished. Even when faced with evidence of their wrongdoing, narcissists remain unmoved, unburdened by guilt or remorse. Their sole concern is self-preservation, maintaining the facade of perfection at any cost. So, don't expect genuine remorse from a narcissist. It's a concept as foreign to them as empathy or compassion. When someone fails to appreciate your true essence, mourning their departure becomes futile. They merely exploited your vitality and resources for their own gain. It's imperative for other survivors to grasp the fabrication of these falsehoods and learn how to persevere. I'm eager to hear your encounters with narcissists. Feel free to share your stories in the comments below, as we'll delve deeper into this topic on a future episode. Until then, let's hold off on the healing process. Narcissists may feign regret, but it differs vastly from genuine remorse. Their lack of empathy prevents them from grasping the harm caused by their actions to those they supposedly hold dear. Losing someone doesn't evoke sadness or guilt in them. Instead, they view individuals as disposable tools. Any expression of remorse from a narcissist is merely a ploy to regain control. While they may regret the consequences of their actions, it's not genuine remorse. It's essential to identify these warning signs when in a relationship with a narcissist and not fall prey to their deceit. If you found this discussion insightful, please share your thoughts and queries below. We'll continue the conversation until we meet